Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Straight Talk for Energy Healers. My name is Raina Aurora. I am an energy healer. I am the creator of the healing modality called the accelerated release technique, which basically means I work with the subconscious. I help people heal their emotional baggage so that they can move forward and be able to live the life that they want and truly deserve to live. I am also the author of the book, The Energy Healing Bible. That's my baby. And finally, I am here on a mission. My mission is to help other healers like yourselves to be able to live your life's purpose. That is to be able to share your gifts with the world, to help as many people as you possibly can, and to do that without being broke. Because let's face it, energy healers do not have the cachet that they deserve. I know you work miracles. I've seen them. I have seen the extraordinary things that you can accomplish. And you truly deserve to be able to do that, to share those gifts with the world and to live comfortably while doing it. So to that end, my goal, my task is to provide you the resources, the connections, the ideas, the understandings, whatever it is that I can to be able to help you, because we got to stick together. If energy healers are going to break free and become mainstream, then I want to help you get there. So today I am very pleased to have a special guest, Jessie DaSilva. So Jessie DaSilva, dubbed the Millennial Money Witch, by Forbes, is an intuitive money mindset, manifestation coach, and business consultant. She helps CEOs increase profits and retain top talent, helps entrepreneurs start and scale businesses, and helps unhappy employees find their dream jobs at dream companies for dream pay. Jessie's coaching is based on the 3 principles of magic, which are the basic building blocks of any and all mindset and manifestation practices. I'm going to ask her about that. I kind of pulled it out of the out of her intro so we could talk about it more. Since becoming a coach, Jessie has been featured in BuzzFeed, Forbes, Yahoo Finance, Yahoo News, and TC Palm Online. This is an extraordinary resume, and I'm super thrilled to bring out Jessie. Hello.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm great. Thanks for asking.
Brilliant. It is really a pleasure to have you here today. Now, this is called Straight Talk for Energy Healers, so there's no bump. We just kind of dive right in, and we're going to take it from there. So now I know you gave me a description that included your 3 principles of magic, and I cut it out because I'm like, I want to hear more. I want to expand on that a little bit. So my first question is, in a nutshell, how would you describe what you do? And if you want to sort of include a little bit of that magic, I would love to hear all about it.
Absolutely. So yeah. So like you read out the kinds of people I help, but the common thread that all of these people have is that they are dealing with what I call glass ceilings, meaning like they can't seem to get past a certain point. This could be an income number, like I can't seem to hit 20K months, 50K months, like it can be a really juicy plateau, but it's still a plateau nonetheless. It can also be something where there are a lot of repeating patterns, maybe that they're able to make money, but not able to hang on to money. So they make it and it seems like it's out the door as soon as they get it. And also people who feel like they're getting different versions of the same shit over and over again. Like, honestly, it's like, wow, this is just the same problem in a new flavor. And how I help people is using these 3 principles of magic as a framework for understanding exactly how to change it. Because what I realize is that magic, manifestation, mindset, it's all the same thing. So those 3 principles of magic are align your intentions, embody them deeply, take inspired action daily. It's those 3 things. That's what it takes to make a spell work. It's the same thing that it takes to make business work, to get the dream job, to expand your company to make like $50,000 a year, hit 7 figures, whatever your goal is. It's those 3 concepts. And that's why I like to specify, because a lot of people will be like, be careful what you say, be careful what you think. Everything is a spell. You're casting spells all the time. No, it's the things that you do with those 3 elements. That's what effectively gives the oomph to anything you do in your business or even just on your own in the form of like magic and manifestation.
Right. Very cool. Okay. So what would you say is your special gift? And like I refer to it as your superpower that makes you amazing at what you do.
I'm really able to see patterns in people's lives, like how seemingly unrelated things are all related. So, for example, I like to say that love and money are always mirrors of each other. So, a lot of times I see business owners will have very similar patterns in their relationships, romantically or otherwise, that they also have with clients or their business. And it's kind of, yeah, different flavors of the same thing. So, it can be an issue around setting boundaries. It could be asking for what you want. It could be that, you know, things feel like they're always really chaotic, like nothing can stay like in a juicy place. So I'm able to see what people can sometimes miss, which is like, hey, you're doing the same thing in multiple areas. So let's like fix it all, right?
That is so true. But it's funny. I never really thought to think about a person's I see patterns all the time, but I'm usually taking it from a different perspective. But that's super cool. That is a super cool link. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know my audience is energy healers. Why might they need the service that you offer? And more specifically, why might they want to work with you?
Absolutely. So there's a quote that everybody's heard, and it's like, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And it's the same thing with money, even more so, like to the nth degree. So a lot of times people don't realize how they're shooting themselves in the foot with their money habits, or even like thinking about it like money hygiene, right? So I've sat here and talked about like magic and woo-woo things, but what's funny is that a lot of the things we discount are actually money magic as well. Budgeting can be considered money magic, investing can be considered money magic. And you can't have one without the other. So that's part of the embodiment aspect of things, is that if you're sitting here trying to cast spells or manifest money, or you're taking action in your business, but then you don't budget, or like you don't really like plan for your finances, you don't like set aside things for savings, you don't have an emergency fund, like if you're not doing those things, then I like to say that you're basically being money's toxic boyfriend. Like you're asking for a lot. You're asking, why don't you spend enough time with me? And like, why don't you like come and hang out more? And why don't you value me? Why do you always disappear? And it's like, well, you don't take care of me either, right? Like essentially what you're doing is you're saying like, give me all your time, give me all your attention, but I'm not going to change any of my bad habits. Mm-hmm. And so I still want you to hang out with me. And like, it doesn't work like that, right? Like if we think of manifestation in terms of like ordering at a restaurant, right? Like most of the time, magic and manifestation, you get to sit down at the table and order off a menu, and it's like a fine dining experience. A lot of us worry about the how, which is like getting under the table and being like, how is this table built? I need to know how to build a table so I can order off the menu. And the universe is like, can you like get up and sit down? Like you don't need to know how to build the table, okay? We're just going to bring it to you. Just ask, just tell us what you effing want, right? Like just say it. And then we're like, okay, I don't need to worry about the how. I surrender, I release it. I just believe this table is here and that it exists. And we sit down and we order off the menu, and we said like $10,000, please. And then the universe is like, okay, cool. But you have a budget and you have financial plans, right? Like you have a plate, and you're like, no, I don't want a plate. I don't want you to bring it to me on a plate. I want you to bring it to me in your hands. So the waiter is going to bring you dinner like in their hands. And so you can still get your $10,000, but A, it's going to take a lot longer. And B, like, it's probably not going to be as appetizing as getting it on a plate, right? Like that's essentially what you're doing. You need the accoutrement, you need like the plate and the forks and the knives or the chopsticks or whatever it is that you use to enjoy the meal. You need those things. That's the structure that allows the manifestation to come a lot faster.
Wow, that is the first time I've heard of anything described that way. That's super cool. Okay, now I'm gonna go totally like off topic. I don't get a chance to talk to too many magic users. So, um, so you say you work on the principles of money magic. So are you essentially teaching your clients how to use magic like in this area of their in this area? Like I'm just like super curious now.
Occasionally, I'll give people spells to do. In all of my
Ooh.
programs, we have a monthly spell circle, which is like,
Ah,
it's funny because it's nothing like people expect it to be like, pop culture stuff. Oh, I need like a college and we're going to do all this crazy shit. And like most of the time, that's not what we're doing. Like it's a lot of like simple things. Like I like to do things where you don't have to go out and like buy a ton of materials. You don't have to order a ton of stuff on Amazon. Like I like to keep it based on things you could reasonably find either in your home or like at the Walmart, okay, or like the dollar store.
right. Like I knew you needed a focus, right? Like you need something to
Exactly. Yeah. And like
okay, that
really,
all
yeah, the pomp and circumstance, it's just to kind of give your mindset like
I can
a thing to focus on. And
mhm,
that's why I explain that like business strategy is magic too, right?
mhm,
Like business strategy is magic, budgeting is magic, financial planning is magic. All of those things are magic when you do them with intention and you're like living like the kind of person who makes the money that you want, right?
mhm,
So do I teach literal magic? Yes, sometimes we do literal magic. But for the most part, I'm teaching people that everyday magic
mhm.
is really what makes more of a difference than, the spell circle thing. Like when you kind of live your life with this idea that like the more I live in alignment with what I'm asking for, the more likely it is to come to me. And so when you start doing that, everything becomes a spell. Everything becomes magic.
That is so much fun. Okay, now you mentioned to me earlier that you have an offer for my audience. Would you like to tell us what's all about?
Sure. So I do monthly free workshops in my group, Five Figure Launch Queens. That is a Facebook group, but if you just go to Five Figure Launch Queens, that's a number five, figurelaunchqueens.com. You can get in there, free access, and I do a free workshop. I have tons of self-guide, like old workshops in there that you can check out. I've got like make $1,000 in a week. I've got make $10,000 in a week. Like I've got lots of fun workshops in there. My next one that I'm planning for later on in June is all about leaning into your villain side. So it's about how like we're going to take the shadow, all the stuff that like we feel bad about in business, all the ways that we like keep ourselves small because we're trying to make everyone around us comfortable, right? Like how many of us have dealt with clients or potential clients who feel like they're teasing us? They always say they want to work with us and they never do. Like how do we like become the people who want to just like call people out and just say it like it is without worrying about how it's received, right? Like so leaning in to the villain side and like this willingness to be seen as someone we may not want to be identified as actually gives us a lot of power. So
Hmm.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm like very heavy into like villain vibes right now.
Awesome.
I'm a
And
natural. I'm a recovering people pleaser, just like just like
yeah,
so many
so
other women. And so sometimes the way I describe it is that when you've lived on one end of the spectrum for so long, sometimes we need to swing in the total opposite. And what's funny is that what we might consider villainous or selfish or mean or whatever is usually somewhere in the middle. Like it's usually just us living with an appropriate amount of self-confidence and self-advocacy. So
okay, and my last question for you is how can my audience reach you if they would like to?
well, my group is open. That's always the best way to come find me. I'm super active in there. But other than that, I'm on all social media channels, either under the Millennial Money Witch or Jessie DaSilva. So first initial, last name, like you can see right here. Um, yeah, but like that's the best place to find me. Come to my group. Let's come hang out.
Fantastic. All right, it was so much fun having you on the show. I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thank
Um,
you for having me.
and thank you to my audience. I say it every week, but I always mean it. time is the most valuable commodity you have. So anytime you come and spend it with me, I am absolutely grateful for it, and I appreciate you more than you know. Now, if you want to reach me, you can find me at info@acceleratedreleasetechnique.org or the website acceleratedreleasetechnique.org. Those are both great places to get through to me. And if you liked what you saw, then please go ahead and give me a like, subscribe to the page, share it with everybody around, and of course, come back and visit us next week. Bye for now.